Good morning, Sean. It's Friday, August 24th. Look what I found. This is the 2010 edition of our school's magazine, the Calliope. Sean, I was right when I said that Straight Nonsense was published in this edition of the Calliope, but I was wrong when I said that my Spanish poem was published in this one as well. My Spanish poem was published in the one the year before this one. But I did have two poems in this issue. There was Straight Nonsense, which is exactly what it sounds like, and a poem called The Skeleton, which is also exactly what it sounds like. One of the funniest things about Straight Nonsense being published in this magazine is that it is on page 2. I mean, you open the book, and on the first page, there's this really nice poem about poetry, and how much poetry means to the poets who actually write it. And then, on the next page, there's Straight Nonsense, which means absolutely nothing. I'm not really sure how Straight Nonsense made it into this magazine, but I think I might be able to justify it. I think the reason my other poem also made it in the magazine was to sort of prove that I could actually write, like, legit poetry that had real meaning and had a tangible message. But even though I didn't realize it at the time, Straight Nonsense does serve a purpose. I wrote Straight Nonsense when I was probably 16 years old. The way I came about writing it was that I had been writing a lot of poetry around that time, and pretty much all of it was, like, really dark and serious and depressing. And I was like, Lucas, you gotta do something else. So I decided to write a poem about nothing. But then after going through the process of writing a poem about nothing, I realized that the poem I'd written about nothing was actually about something, and that something was that nothing means a lot. The importance of nothing is something that people tend to forget as they get older. We get bogged down with everything, and then we don't feel like we can do anything, but we know we're missing something, and that something is nothing. Now, of course, when I say nothing in this context, I don't actually mean nothing. I mean things that a lot of people consider to be a waste of time, essentially. Mainly things that don't make money, like vlogging or being a musician. But from what I've seen, people often fail to realize that nothing is important. We get so caught up in this pursuit of a meaningful existence, a prosperous future, and a glorious legacy that all the nothing that makes everything worthwhile just gets shoved off into the corner and forgotten. Sometimes I worry about how much nothing I do, and I start wondering if I should be doing something. But then I start thinking, wouldn't it be great if I could just make money by doing nothing? Which essentially is what a lot of people think I'm trying to do. And maybe I am. And maybe I will. I think the happiest people are the ones who can find a balance between nothing and something, the silly and the serious. But that's a really hard thing to do. Balance of any kind is a really hard thing to do. We get caught up in one or the other, we lose our grip, we slip, we slide, we make mistakes. But the key to balance isn't standing still. It's making lots and lots of adjustments and getting up when you fall. Anyway, Sean, that was just something that was on my mind. Now here's a little bit of nothing. 1-4-67. Feathery floating flip-flops tipping with the tide. Halloween pumpkins rotting now, don't eat what's inside. 'Cause the cheese curds wouldn't like it if you took away their chairs. Nobody likes a cardboard box when they can't eat their pears. And it's a long way down to clipboard, so you best be hitching a ride. Ask me what goes through my head, I'll tell you what's inside. It's just a tangled mess of facts and a little bit of straight nonsense. Skipping stones on a frozen lake, potatoes go well with plates. Clothespins don't make good shoes, don't take a light post on a date. 'Cause the floor is on the ceiling while the penguins shave their dogs. Birds can't hear with their eyes closed, giant tractors don't like frogs. And it's a long way down to clipboard, so you'd best be hitching a ride. Ask me what goes through my head, I'll tell you what's inside. It's just a tangled mess of facts and a little bit of straight nonsense. Just like everybody needs. Playing cards with ice cubes is just another way to breathe. Fire alarms can't sleep at night, wheels are crabby when they teethe. 'Cause light bulbs make good pets when napkins learn to dance. Soak up all the nonsense now, you might not get another chance. And it's a long way down to clipboard, so you best be hitching a ride. Ask me what goes through my head, I'll tell you what's inside. It's just a tangled mess of facts and a little bit of straight nonsense.